never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe is there.
Hello everybody, Mac here. Good morning. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons. What we have today is G.I. Joe Classified, Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins, Storm Shadow. This is the first of the Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins figures that I've received. I put my pre-order in with Hasbro. I know a lot of people did it through Big Bad Toy Store or some other outlet. For some reason, I just put it in through Hasbro. I ordered Storm Shadow, I ordered Baroness, and I ordered Scarlet. I didn't order, what's her name, Akiku, and I didn't order Snake Eyes himself. Depending on how these three turn out, I might pick up the other two just to complete the set. I'm not really sure yet. But this was actually the one that I was looking forward to the most. This is the one that I wanted the most, Storm Shadow, because up until now, the only thing we've received is the Arctic Mission Storm Shadow that is based off of his Ninja Force look, which I think was his third incarnation in the original vintage set. This one, while it's not a complete copy of Storm Shadow's first outfit, first look, first figure, it is very close to the basic white ninja outfit that he wore when he was introduced. Now, since this is classified Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, however they want to put it all together, we have a different box. It's all black, as you can see. On the front, we have some box art of Storm Shadow that, truthfully, this looks like it might be a movie still that was photoshopped a little to make it look like a piece of artwork. On the side, we have the same thing. You can see the Arashikage logo in the back. On the side, he actually has the new file card system. He is numbered, too, so he's number 17 of the set, so he is part of the classified series. So that's interesting. Up top, Arashikage, number 17. And on back, we have just a still image of Snake Eyes with the Snake Eyes movie logo on the bottom here. The snake banner, dragon banner here. I don't know. This version of Snake Eyes didn't do much for me, especially since I already have the standard retail release. I have the Hasbro Pulse exclusive. And I have the Commando on pre-order that's supposed to be coming this month. We'll wait and see. That got pushed back. Mine was supposed to come last month, but it got pushed back, but we'll have to wait and see. This armored version of Snake Eyes with the Arashikage on the outside of the uniform, the costume, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this look. It doesn't really do much for me. If I see it in person, maybe I'll change my mind and pick it up. But as with all of the classified figures, big window up front. We see the figure. We see the few accessories that he comes with. So, let's get this out of the way. Let's open this up, and we will take a look at Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, G.I. Joe Classified Series, Storm Shadow. Alright friends, here he is, Storm Shadow out of the box, and the first thing we'll do is we'll put the tape measure to him. We'll see how he measures up. I'm guessing he's going to come in at about 6 1/4 like the rest of the classified figures. And yes, right to the top of his head, you can see he comes in at pretty much dead on 6 1/4 inches tall. So he will be at the same scale as the rest of the classified figures. Now, getting to articulation, his head can do a full 360. We'll get to that in a second. Oh, that's... He can look up. He can look down. He has a decent amount of tilt to his head. Now, he has the butterfly shoulders, his arms, they have this armor. You see this armor right here, and it stops them at just about 90. Can do a full 360, double jointed elbows with some really great travel. Wrists swivel, and both pivot up and down, which is good because they're sword-holding hands. He has an ab crunch, which you can see because it's built into the sculpt right there. He can crunch forward. He can really look back. If you drop his belt, you can see he has a bit of a ball joint here at the waist. He can tilt to the side, he can tilt to the side, and it can help with his forward and his back. But if you drop this belt too low, you'll start to see the gap in there. So I believe it's meant to ride right about there to help hide the cut in the waist. Now, This is rubber, so it doesn't really hinder the articulation, but it doesn't really help it either. That he has drop-down legs, as you can see, just like the other classified. You bring it up to 90, but then it wants to drop back down, so it's not going to, it can come to 90, but it's not going to hold position, which is unfortunate for a ninja-type character. He has a thigh swivel, right there. He has double-jointed knees, which with some great travel, and he has ankles that rock back, ankles that rock forward, and a forward-facing pin for the rock, for the side to side. And that is the articulation of Storm Shadow. Now, couple of things, couple of issues. Let's just keep going on with what's good about this. First of all, what's really good about this is a completely new sculpt. Nothing is reused. This is brand new for this figure. This is brand new for the movie. And I think some of the detail that they put on this is really, really good. For example, if we take a look at the head sculpt here, you can see there's actually a imprint right here where his mouth would be, where the mask would be pulling tight over the mouth. It's a subtle little thing, but it looks really good, and it's very realistic, but it's not that ridiculous printing of the lips on the helmet like we had in G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. Also, there's a lot of personality in those eyes right there and the furrowed brow. I believe we get some photoreal printing with this. It's really good. I like there's even line work done into his cowl. I don't know if this is supposed to be a helmet or if this is supposed to be a cloth cowl. Considering there's wrinkles around the back, I'm going to guess this is a cowl, a mask of some kind, because I'm pretty sure Snake Eyes' mask is a helmet. Folded cloth down here. I like the silver line work. I really like the silver line work in the costume, in his uniform here. It continues on to the back as well. I really like that. I don't know if that has anything to do with what happens in the movie. Full disclosure, I have not seen the movie. I am probably not going to see the movie in the theater because I'm pretty sure around here it's out of theaters already. This doesn't line up, and that's upsetting. That really sets off my OCD. You can't even really tilt it into place that this line and this line, it's supposed to be in continuation, but it doesn't line up. Although I do enjoy the fact that they ran this line all the way around this crunch joint here so that when he looks back, it doesn't break up, even though it's still not perfectly in line. The legs have some really great detail here. The loincloth here, the sculpt for the baggy pants, which you can see whenever you do the thigh swivel, that really breaks it up. But hey, you gotta take the good with the bad, and it does look really good. At first, I thought these boots with these shin guards here were a reuse from Arctic Mission. Arctic Mission Storm Shadow. But if I bring him in, you can see that no, those are completely different sculpt, different knee pads, different shin guards, and even different footwear. I appreciate that. Back up to the arms, he has these shoulder pads here. He has the wrinkle for the cloth parts of his sleeve, bracers around the wrists, and wraps around the hands where you can see the fingertips. I really like these hands. I really like how they have this cloth wrap. I really like how you can see the fingertips. It makes me wish that he had another set of hands that were either open claw attack hands or just something. All he comes with are these gripping hands here. These are the only hands that he has. Okay? All in all, I really like the sculpt of the figure, and I also like that with this ab crunch here, it's not real loose. I mean, there's going to be some play in it for moving it back and forth, but that's just the weight of its own figure. But it's nothing like Arctic Mission right here. See what I mean? Like this one wobbles, but Arctic Mission really is really loose in there. Now he does come with another head too, and he comes with this one, and there's some good photoreal printing on this, and this is a very good likeness from what I can tell of the actor who portrayed Storm Shadow. Don't know what his real name is. I didn't look that up before I started this review, but I really like the detail in the hair. I really like the photo printing. I think this is one of the better sculpts, one of the better paint apps I've seen, not just in Classified, but even across the board for like the Marvel Legends and definitely Star Wars, the Black Series. They did a really good job on this, and this should be the standard that they use moving forward for the face printing of the Classified series. Now, you just pop the head off, and then push it on. And what I don't like is there's no real pop. It just seems to stretch out and fit there. But even on the figure, it looks really good. It gives him a very stoic, very almost regal look. Like, that's a really good Storm Shadow. And I'll be honest, I wasn't a big fan of Rise of Cobra, but I thought the actor that portrayed Storm Shadow in that was really good. But this looks great. That pops off. Then you pop this back on. Now, if you were thinking of using this with your Arctic Mission... Stand up, Tommy. If you were thinking of using this head with your Arctic Mission Storm Shadow, I have some bad news for you. Take the hood off. Come on. Pop the head off. Look. It won't pop on. If you take this, I don't know why they did this, but if you pop that head off, you can see that the balls are different sizes. The Classified, the G.I. Joe Origins ball joint is much larger than the Classified series, the standard Classified series. So this just sits on there, and this isn't even going to think about putting that on there. And I don't know why they did that. I don't know if that had something to do with contracting, with likeness rights, that you can't put him on another figure. I don't know. Because, as you can see, like, even just sitting there, he actually looks really good on the Arctic Mission body. But it's not going to be solid. Now, if you put some super glue or some blue tack up in there, you could get a more solid... Oh, man, you can get a more solid fit, but without doing any modifications, it doesn't fit on there. Another bit of an issue I have with his head here, you might have noticed it when I was looking at the articulation, that if you tilt his head back too far, or if you even go too far forward, because it doesn't really pop, it just sort of stretches onto the ball joint. It tends to pop off, even when you're trying to do, like, it comes off way too easy. The first time I pulled it off, it was really difficult to pull off, but it just comes off way too easily. And also, even with this one, like, it's really hard to get on there, but there's no pop to it, and it does stay on there better than the masked head, which is unfortunate because I feel like most people would be displaying it with the mask head if you're trying to incorporate it into your Classified series. If you're going to set this up with just the movie figures, you might be more inclined to display it with the unmasked face. It is really good too. Like, I really like that scar on there and everything. But I don't know, this just seems to pop off way too easily. It also comes with these two swords, two katana, and I don't know, there's something really strange about this whole setup, because if you look at this, they're not the same weapons, they're not the same sculpts. The handle on this one is longer than this one, and then if you turn them over and you look at the blades, even the curve of the blades are different. And without having seen the movie, I don't know if two separate swords here plays into the plot, but I really thought they were just going to be twin katana, or preferably twin ninjakin. But one thing that I did find interesting, and this is the sword from that 6-inch figure that we took a look at, the 6-inch Snake Eyes figure, that I was worried that this might be, I was worried that this might be a little too small for the Classified series, but if you look at this, they're about the same size. From the blades, and even the handle. And at first I thought maybe these were the same, but they're not. The blades are sculpted a little bit differently, and the handles are a little bit differently, or handles are sculpted a little bit different as well. So, but I thought that was interesting, that this one that came with the 6-inch Snake Eyes is about the same that comes with the 6¼ inch Storm Shadow. And to fit on his back, they come with his backpack. That there is only one way that this goes on. You see you have 2 large holes up here, you have 2 smaller holes down here. I believe when it fits on his back, you have to do it so that the larger holes are up top. Otherwise, the blades don't fit. The hilts don't fit properly. See that in there? That one will ride up a little bit higher. But if you put this on, and it just pops on the back there, and you got one on the top, and you got one on the bottom. And they go blade to blade. But they're not, one isn't really tight in there. So you're always going to, and I don't think it matters if you swap, that you're always going to have, yeah, you're always going to have one that's really loose on there. His hands hold his weapons really well. They look really good holding them. At first I thought this was looked like a trigger finger, and it might be a trigger finger if you wanted to put a gun in his hand or something, but he does have a very natural look holding his weapons. And also, while he does have a really good grip on them, like, it's not going to fall out, you don't feel like you're stretching the hand when you push it in. You just slide it in, the hand opens up, and there he has his swords. And he has some really good grip on them, that they're not going to be falling out. So that's real cool too. I really like that. He looks very natural. Even in this ridiculous pose, he looks really natural actually holding these things. Now, something else I wanted to take a look at was this. This is an insert from the figures box, from Storm Shadow's box. And it's this really cool black background with the Arashikage logo on it. And usually the backgrounds that we get with the classified series, I just end up tossing them away because it either has like a Cobra logo or a G.I. Joe logo or just something on like blue or red. This actually looks really cool. This would be a really good backdrop for Storm Shadow or for any of your ninja characters. This would even be a really cool backdrop. Ooh, this would be a really cool backdrop if you have the Hasbro Pulse exclusive. You set Snake Eyes up and he has his weapon rack down here and you use this for a background for him. That would look really cool. Okay, so as far as the sculpt goes, I really like the sculpt. As far as the paint app goes, I really like that they haven't taken to this modern trend of putting the Arashikage symbol somewhere on Storm Shadow. I like that the idea is that the tattoo, if he does have the tattoo, is hidden somewhere under his clothing. I like that better than what they've been doing with some of the other classified, like this, with putting the Arashikage logo right there on his chest, or, I have it covered up, but, or like on his weapons right there on his back. Like, it's not branding, okay? I don't like that. And it's on Snake Eyes too. I think it's on his belt. I think there was, I think on the classified series Snake Eyes, it was on his belt. It's on his scabbard, and I think on the retail, it's on his head somewhere as well. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about what I know a lot of collectors, including myself, have been questioning: the color. Why is he this eggshell off-white? Why isn't he the bright white that we know and love with Storm Shadow? Especially when the 6-inch core figure came in this bright white here. And even going back to Arctic Missions, even the Arctic Missions, which is not pure white, it still has a little bit of an off-white, a yellow cast to it. It's still a more stark white than what we have with the G.I. Joe Origins Storm Shadow. I don't understand what the thought process was behind it, because it's not even like with Arctic Mission over here, where there's like just a hint of yellow that gives it that off-white. It's not so bright as this. This is kind of an ugly color. It looks dirty. It looks like he mixed his colors and his whites in the washing machine one night, it just, I don't know, especially because from the trailers, it looks like Storm Shadow's outfit is a stark white in the movie and not this color right here. I don't understand. I know that's a big sticking point for a lot of collectors and a lot of fans. I didn't think it was going to be that bad until I got the figure in my hand, and it's not an attractive color. It's not a good color for him. I don't know what they were thinking about that. If I have one big complaint for Storm Shadow, it's the color of the figure. It just doesn't work. You just saw him with a G.I. Joe Classified Series figure and a Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins core figure at the 6-inch scale. Here he is with two 7-inch scales for McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat Scorpion and Liu Kang. Have I mentioned how disappointed I am with this figure? Are you tired of hearing about it yet? Here he is with Jazzware's Wicked Cool Toys Spartan Series Master Chief and Cat. Like I keep telling you, that these are pretty much to scale what a Spartan should be for a 1/12 scale figure, that you could fudge the Spartans into your G.I. Joe collection. I really like these figures. And I really don't have much for Marvel Legends, but here he is next to Marvel Legends Loki and Black Widow movie series Black Widow. And finally, here he is next to Jazzware's Fortnite Legendary Series Havoc. So when it's all said and done, I don't dislike this figure. I don't love this figure. This definitely isn't the Storm Shadow that we've been waiting for. But I guess the big thing with this is that this figure is very meh to me. It looks good sculpt-wise. The face portrait looks fantastic. The silver lines in the uniform look great. The sculpt and everything, as I said, looks great, and it's 100% new. But the coloring is so off-putting that it's not even an attractive off-white. It's a very ugly, dirty-looking off-white. His weapons not being twin, being different styles of blades, different handles, I don't understand that. Like I said, maybe that's part of the movie. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. If you're in it to collect the movie figures, then you're definitely going to need this one, because Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes are the two big ones that are going to complete the set, and there's only like 4 or 5 figures that go with the set anyway. If you're looking to add this into your classified line, your standard G.I. Joe classified line, he'll fit. He'll fit physically, size-wise, dimensions, everything else. Whether he'll fit aesthetically to your pleasing, that's completely up to you, once again, because of the color of the figure. I don't regret buying this one, but I don't feel like I needed this one. So, I don't know, it's up to you. I'm really not going to go out on a limb and recommend you get this one. If you like it, get it, and I'm glad that you like it. If you don't like it, you're not going to miss anything passing this up, especially since you can't use his face sculpt, the unmasked head, on anything else other than this figure. So I do have 2 more of them coming. Like I said, I have Scarlet coming and I have Baroness coming, and I'm waiting to see what those 2 are like before I decide if I'm going to finish out the set and get a Kiku and Storm Shadow, before I decide whether I'm going to get a Kiku and Snake Eyes. So until we can take a look at those, play well, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.
Determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe!